approximately a 400% increase from 1980 when it was like 6%.
You can imagine.
Yes.
In 1980 it was 6%. We're in 2026.
We have like 400%. That growth in statistics is off the hook now. Nigeria does not readily have such statistics. And I think someone should be concerned about that, because I think we need to do a research on that.
Truly.
Yeah.
The national census should cover something like this.
Yes. Okay, so I think, but with life today, the matured single woman, I dare to say, is like fine wine. Now when you jam there, you go know.
So.
Complex, rich, and totally self-owning. She's about her goals. She's about her passion and her peace. No apologies, no compromise. They travel, career-wise, they are going higher and higher. Friendship, self-love. And some of her jams, you can imagine in the house this morning. I was playing some jams, shaking my body and going. But then, a lot of matured single ladies have found a way to navigate through life without feeling left out. And today we'll be talking about that, and we'll be talking to a lady via phone. Let's hear her experience. How has she been able to navigate through life and through the challenges that comes with
from the society.
Challenges and stigma that comes from the society. How has she been able to navigate through that? But we'll be calling her on via phone. But
Rose, it's good to have you join us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. So Rose, we'll be talking about matured single woman generally. So as a single or as a matured single woman, let's talk. What gives your life purpose and fulfillment?
But before we get into that, right? Yeah. Can you share your experience as a matured single and how to navigate through life without feeling left out?
Okay, once again, thank you for having me.
Okay.
Actually, it took a lot of courage to be able to say this. It has not been easy. It's quite challenging, and as every day unveils, I try to push through. I try to pick my head held up high. From the community where I came, it has not been easy, it has not been funny. And also considering that my younger ones are already mentally established, and my family is facing pressure, honestly, it has not been funny.
Okay,
it has been quite challenging.
Okay. So now, as a single matured woman, what gives your life purpose and fulfillment? Even though you have pressure around and then your younger ones are all far gone, but personally, what gives you life and purpose? Or what gives your life purpose and fulfillment as a mature single woman?
All right, thank you for that question.
Yeah.
For me, my sense of purpose comes from growth. It is one thing that I want to commercial too, and I'm not ready to let go anytime soon. When I talk about growth as my sense of purpose, it's spiritually, professionally, emotionally. I started with spiritually because it has helped me, it has brought me thus far, and meditating, praying, and doing what I'm supposed to do spiritually, which has really helped me to grow. And professionally, I truly believe in developing myself. You know, while I wait for that opportunity to come to be called a married woman, I do all I can to self-development. I develop myself personally. I read books, I take on classes online, whatever I can learn, I just keep that knowledge, something I know will keep me, like they always say, I do mind is the devil's workshop. I think that is still this day and time. This has brought me such that from knowing that I'm building a life that reflects my values, for me it matters. Now the pro is that I can get a defined process on my own phone. I can define that. I get my time as a single lady. I know biologically the time is not in my favor, but I don't just sit back to relax and fold my hand at home. When you wait for the world to start to wait. No. Now the challenge though is that purpose isn't always celebrated when it doesn't teach traditional milestones like marriage. Like I mentioned earlier, from the part of Nigeria where I come from, you will see, I don't know, each time I think about it, it's always, it's kind of depressing, but with what I've done thus far, I always make sure I'm one step ahead. So I come from a place where you see, sometimes they irritate you, sometimes they just show words at you, sometimes they just say things like, even when you see man being compounds, and all of that. So but I strongly believe that internal fulfillment keeps me anchored.
Okay, Rose, I'm so glad to know that in spite of, the challenges you face, you were able to take one step forward. So I want to know, how do you navigate the fine lines between living your life and meeting other expectations of yours?
Absolutely. The expectations and society is, I'm not going to lie to you, it's quite overwhelming.
Okay.
And it's a way to carry everything as an adjusting lady. Now the other day, when societal timelines and unspoken comparisons feel heavy. I tell you the truth, like literally heavy. There is this expectations. People have this expectations of what has she been doing from when she was a teenager. You see that type that comes to propose down. You see that type that says no to men. You see this electric. You hear this side talk and you just choose to keep waiting. You just choose to keep pushing. Now the upside is that this pressure has pushed me to question norms and become more self-aware. I've attended seminars in churches, corporate seminars where it's basically for the stimulus. And I tell you the truth, I'm already 42 and I know how it's telling on me. Now the downside is reading constant continuous to remind myself that my life isn't behind. It's just different. Each time I attend seminars in churches or corporate seminars, I learn one or two things from there, and I see people where they share their experiences. They say something that I take it, I grab it, and I work with it. And that's really helpful. So I always navigate between societal expectations and the way it's always showing on us. I don't want you to know because each time I attend seminars, you are many in number.
Okay. So, Ms. Rose, self-care is very crucial. What's one thing you do daily to prioritize your happiness and won't negotiate or compromise?
Okay, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you, please.
Okay. What I do is I listen respectively, but I choose intentionally.
Okay.
There are days I listen to some news, some statements. I read some things, I watch some news. It's up to me to decide what to choose, to hold on to, and what to let go. That is why I mentioned earlier that I listen respectively, but I choose intentionally. Now the process of this is learning healthy boundaries and self-trust. If I'm able to set my boundaries, healthy ones, because first, for me, my peace comes first. I prioritize my peace. I don't joke with that. I've seen cases where single ladies are diagnosed with high blood pressure. I don't want that to be my own thing. Sure. So I prioritize my peace. What I feel my goal is learning healthy boundaries and self-worth. That peace of mind that I want for myself. It's something I've conscientized myself. Now the point is that disappearing others, disappointing others, so even unintentionally can be emotional taxing. But for me, I've decided that still my peace comes from knowing that I'm living authentically and not performative. I'm not here to perform any game or anything for influence. I live my life a day at a time. Like I said earlier, I'm very spiritual. It's not because of where I find myself to go. I know that there is this great being out there that besides everybody gets through. So I always tell myself from a seminar I get something from. They say if you arrive here before me, it's because you're supposed to watch my own arrival. So for me, it's a mantra that works with me.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, the program is Real Woman on Capital FM 92.9, and we're talking to our guest, a single matured lady, Miss Rose, and she's telling us about her experience. You can actually be part of the program when we finish the conversation with her, and then let's hear your questions and let's hear what you think.
Okay, so for every matured single, or maybe you have one as a family member, you can call in and share what you feel about holding your head up and not being defined by marriage.
Yeah. Why should I
deny
myself these
of
privileges after working so hard to acquire all these things? And she, that mindset changed completely. Wow. And she began to live her life to the fullest. So if you're there and you're denying yourself because you want a man to come, live that life. We have only one life to live.
Yeah. I know of a lady whose father refused her leaving the house because she was single. He said he wouldn't want her to go stay outside, stay on her own. She was old enough to stay on her own, to rent an apartment and stay on her own, but the father refused. The father said it's better people come to the house here to see you than for you to be alone. I was like, oh no, yes.
Okay, so I think the stigma is actually so loud. Because we've had a challenge, with the challenge of even bringing them on the show, it's another thing. It's a stigma.
Sure.
Because it's difficult to even have them come out and speak. Rose rather made a call. Do you get? Rather than coming. And that is another stigma. That's another challenge that single mature women go through. That for having them in a society or having them sit somewhere and in an occasion, you just this one's na auntie or na auntie baby. That's why they usually call them that kind of name. But then, and the funny thing is, the same women, we are the ones who give them that kind of name sometimes. And when we do, we forget that the tables turn. And some of us are still growing, that we're yet to even experience some certain things about life. But I think the Rose said a lot.
Yes.
That you need to know your worth as a woman
first.
Because whether you're a woman or a man, if you know
married
your worth,
or not married know your worth.
Yes, married or not married, if you know your worth, certain things will not define you.
Yes.
And I like that question we asked, that does marriage define you? And I said, no. Marriage shouldn't define you. You shouldn't sit there not doing anything. You have a lot to achieve as a woman, irrespective of whatsoever life throws at you. And then she said something, it's a phase. It's going to pass.
Yes.
How do you take care of yourself during that phase? Do you stay there and you want to die? You want to kill yourself? You want to... So I've seen women who have gone into depression because there's no marriage. Marriage is not forthcoming. So if you know your worth, you can come through that phase of your life and just know that there's more to life. Florence said, it's only one life you have.
Exactly.
Yeah, so live it
to
the fullest. Have fun, enjoy yourself, acquire the masters, the PhD,
honestly,
the everything you need to acquire the houses, the cars, the mansions. You want to travel out, please travel out.
And so whether we like it or okay.
Yeah.
And
so
another thing, you can invest in the life. If you have siblings and they have children, you can invest in the life of those children.
You can even adopt a child.
Exactly. I know of a lady who quite mature. She's in her late 50s, and she's privileged to be doing very well. You know what she did? She invested in the life of
her children, her nieces.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what they call her?
Exactly.
Big mommy.
Yeah.
You know, and she's fulfilled doing all of that. You know, so you don't
I'm
have
not
to.
in my house, so I understand where you're coming from. I mean, the truth about the matter is, whether we like it or not, I mean, there's always a stigma in single matured women. I don't know. The society feels, I mean, expectations. They have expectations of them. You know, maybe they feel they ask them questions. There's no way a mature single lady will still go for an event or even in her workplace that questions won't arise, like when will you get married, when are you getting married, have you met a guy yet, and all of that. There's this stigma, there's this questions that we keep
but you see,
asking
the thing
them.
is, sometimes people don't know the story behind
Even the
all
boundaries,
this.
we should learn how to, you know, there are boundaries that you
Yes.
shouldn't, it's not everything you say out. When are you getting, when will you give birth? I mean, do you know what that person is facing?
You
Do you know the story behind it?
No, when will you get married?
Learn to be
sympathetic.
Yes.
You know, the painful
their
thing that Mercy mentioned is that most times it's we fellow women that stigmatize single mature. But you know, sometimes when you have a confrontation with them, that's that because she no marry, because she no get children, so she no
understand.
Exactly.
Okay, but I've seen men too who have have said some utterances to women. Because you look at them, they say, I get your type at home. If you go and marry. Well, yes! The men too have said so many hurting things to women in that category. See, me, I get your type for house. Go marry. As if the marriage is something that you can just pick.
An achievement.
I
don't understand.
Exactly.
You know that I listened to one man speak some years back, and he said it's better for a lady to remain single than to marry full. Forgive me for using that word, but that was what the man said. That it's better for you to remain single than to marry
Someone who is
full.
not responsible.
Exactly, who is not responsible.
Yes.
You know, so please, when you find yourself in that situation, don't push yourself into a relationship or a marriage that you know that will destroy you at the end of the day.
Because people are talking.
People always talk, whether we like it or not.
People will always talk. And then I think there's this part that sometimes we just feel that people are saying some certain things. It's the self-awareness and consciousness that, okay, we have found ourselves in this place. Maybe a mature single, or I'm married, I don't have children, or I don't. Yes, if some of these utterances are not thrown to us directly, but in our consciousness, we always try to put ourselves somewhere to just feel that maybe this person thinks like this, maybe this person is saying this, maybe this person. But when we try to live our lives, irrespective of whatsoever anybody thinks, because it's your life at the end of the day. It's not anybody's
you
life.
won't blame them sometimes for thinking that way, because they've heard such comments
exactly
on and on and on, and before you know it, it creates a stronghold in your heart.
So you create boundaries.
You know.
Rose said something about boundaries. Because if there are people who ask you when I get him, you give them some hard answers.
Yes.
They will stay away from you or disconnect from them. Because you don't need negative
peace
people
of mind.
around you.
Yes,
so have good support system.
Yes, so support system.
People who value you, who appreciate
you.
People who are like-minded, you
Exactly.
know, move with such people. And I tell you, they fulfill at the end of the day.
I've seen men that will tell you, I don't want to see you with that lady, or she's not married. And I'm wondering.
And there's some women,
And
when they
the
get
woman,
married, they're not supposed to tell them, I don't want to associate with your single friends again.
And I'm asking her, hello, what is it now? What is it? Are we any different?
Alright, ladies, it's about time we give Mario space.